Welcome comic fans to another Suddenly Comics video. Today I'm going to be talking about another of the characters from the upcoming The Suicide Squad movie. This time I'm going to give a whole episode to one character, and that character is Peacemaker. Peacemaker has been a C-list or even D-list superhero ever since he was created in 1967. He first appeared in a comic called Fighting Five. This is not an original copy of Fighting Five. This is a modern reproduction. So he appeared in this comic as a backup story. Here we go. Let me just bring that up and read you the first page of Peacemaker. It says, introducing the Peacemaker. This is a man who detests war, violence, and the dreadful waste of human life in senseless conflicts between nations. A man who loves peace so much he's willing to fight for it. This is the same man, name Christopher Smith, occupation envoy to the Geneva Arms Conference, a man dedicated to peace. Right, okay, so the Charlton Comics, I think was around from about 1945 through to the mid-80s. They were renowned for producing the cheapest comics available. The paper quality was appalling. They paid the writers and the artists the lowest rates in the industry, one story I heard says actually they used their printing presses to produce cereal cartons, and only went into comics in order to use the presses when they weren't making cereal cartons. Whether that is true or not, I don't know. Anyway, Charlton Comics went out of business, and actually most of the Charlton Comics characters were actually purchased, I think, in 1985 by DC Comics. They actually, I think, purchased them originally for Alan Moore to use some of the characters for the Watchmen. However, when they saw the story of the Watchmen, they realised if they allowed these characters to be used in the Watchmen, they'd become unusable thereafter. So they then asked Alan Moore to create new characters to use in the Watchmen. So actually, Peacemaker was if you know the Watchmen, there's a character in the Watchmen called the Comedian, and Peacemaker was originally in the comedian role. I'm not talking exclusively about Peacemaker here, but it is interesting. Obviously, in Watchmen we had Dr. Manhattan, and the Charlton character that was going to be in that role was Captain Atom, and the character who was Rorschach, the detective, was the Charlton Comics character The Question. So an interesting background. So he's been around for a long time. He's never really been in a starring role until now. Marvel did come up with a Peacemaker series. We have the first issue of Marvel Comics Peacemaker. So he has had his own comic before. He's now appearing a bit more frequently because, of course, he's not just appearing in the Suicide Squad. We know he's going to be having his own television series, going to be directed by James Gunn. So those of you who want a bit of a spec play, James Gunn is noted for picking out sort of lesser known characters to appear. So I suspect some of the old Charlton Comics characters could well appear in the James Gunn Peacemaker television series. So it may well be worth looking out for copies of Captain Atom, The Question, Blue Beetle, and actually I've just picked up some. Oh, get one over here. I've just picked up some Charlton Comics goodness. There's a Charlton Comics character called Sarge Steele, who's now also owned by DC, and he has had connections with the Suicide Squad in the comics. So we maybe see. I wonder whether we're going to be seeing him in the Peacemaker television series. Who knows? Sorry, right, back to Peacemaker. Peacemaker is being played in the movie and in the television series by WWE wrestler John Cena, which I think is great casting. And so I have a couple of other issues with Peacemaker appearing. These are fairly recent ones. This is quite a nice cover here. Suicide Squad cover. And another one, he's getting a bit of press nowadays. That's people reflected in his helmet. His helmet, by the way, is one story arc that occurred is that all the souls of the people he's killed are in the helmet. I don't know whether we're going to get that storyline coming up, but it's quite an interesting one. And here we are again. This is another Suicide Squad, and we have some Peacemaker goodness on the cover here. So I think that Peacemaker first appeared in 1965, 1967. So he's in his 50s, and I think finally he's moved off the C list, probably into the B list of superheroes, and maybe with a television series he may move even into be an A-list superhero. If James Gunn can wave his magic as he did with Groot and Rocky Raccoon, then we may have a new A-list superhero on our hands. So I'm looking forward to all that. Thanks for watching. Please hit the like button if you liked this video, and please subscribe. Thanks very much. Bye.